Hey, 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 happy International Women's Day. What is going on? Guilford Public Library. Can I get a heck yeah? Woohoo! How are ya? I do hope I get some friends to join me. Looks like the event is live based on my... how about I don't put the volume on my own phone? That's hilarious. I'm hoping that we'll get some people to party with me to celebrate the divine feminine, the fierce feminine, the fiercest among us. Let's see who's showing up. Anyone willing to say hi? Not yet? All right, well, I will trust you're there. And I wore my fancy pseudo robe situation just for this day, March 8th. So happy to be activating the power within. So we're going to go on a journey. We're going to go on an adventure. Pretty excited to share my passion, enthusiasm for some legendary ladies who are known for their strength and power, their compassion, their misbehaving. Oh, Jan is here. Hello, Jan. Hello, Anne. Thank you guys so much. Renee has made it in the house. So thrilling. This is all I need. And I need a little bit of feminine energy. And now we're ready to rock and roll. So I will start by introducing myself. My name is Lonnie Voivod. I have the audacity to call myself a professional muse. And I really believe that. I've spent a few decades doing a lot of interesting things. I live in Guilford, hang out with my husband Alan, 2 boys, 18 and 13. That's my life. We have I'm a yoga teacher. I love I love thinking about how our bodies, minds, and spirits work in this world. And I especially love doing it around the context of feminine energy and the gifts that we have that we're seeing maybe more passionately celebrated in this world year after year. We're rising up, we're taking notes, we are connecting and reflecting and realizing that we love the masculine energy side of things, very essential, very wonderful, and yet perhaps this darn world would benefit from a little more of the feminine glory and strength. So let's dive right in. What do you think? Oh, hi Heidi, you made it, and Beth is here. Oh, thank you, Beth. You're very nice. All right, so we're gonna dive in, and I will do my best to watch, and yet if you know me, I get excited. I might just go at this because I've got these incredible women that I want to introduce you to. I have been spending some time with them, so I am like reignited with some passion that I haven't felt for a while. So the fierce feminine, what the heck are we talking about here on International Women's Day? We are talking about the thing within us. It's not a gender, it's not putting anything down. It's recognizing that we humans are part of a duality. A yin and yang is a familiar appreciation of these energies, these gifts that we have. And whereas the masculine energy of life is logic and intellectualism and doing, and maybe there's a lot of power and will and ego and assertiveness and a more linear approach, maybe dealing with one thing at a time, focusing on accountability and authority. I think I am going to keep my glasses on. I can't tell what I'm doing yet. Strategy. These are the wonderful traits that masculine energy shows up for us and helps us in life, whereas the feminine energy, the fierce feminine in us, focuses on community, compassion, receptive energy, collaboration, intuition, vulnerability. I love that Brene Brown has really brought the idea and the gifts of vulnerability to the forefront in our culture. A willingness to be creative, to be a little open-minded, an awareness of our sensuality, not in any kind of dirty way, but in a way that appreciates feelings and emotions and wisdom from the senses rather than complete logic brain. So the feminine energies are adaptable and they're hooked into nature and rhythms. And when we think about our own biology and chemistry, if you are a female, you may be acquainted with certain rhythms of life, of maybe a heightened awareness of the seasons of our lives. You know, we definitely like to align with certain cycles. The feminine energy is more associated with moon energy, whereas the masculine is sun. It's radiant sun and strength and power, and moon is a softer, gentler approach to life where we celebrate wisdom and nature and intuition. So when we are trying to maybe consider ourselves in this beautiful life equation, especially in March, especially in New Hampshire, we may find ourselves, who knows, like tired of a pandemic, tired of darker days and cold and all these things that maybe we're ready to feel a little bit something different. So today we're going to re-energize and recalibrate ourselves to really focus on how to snazz up and jazzmatazz our juicy commitment to living and loving and being, and taking advantage of maybe some of our gifts that we've forgotten or we haven't had a chance to practice, or maybe we weren't aware that we were part of this magical mystery, and today we get to do it. So I'm pretty excited. I hope you can see that. Hope you can feel that. Yeah, yes, Heidi, the world could really benefit. I would also agree with that. So how are we going to do this? It sounds like we're taking on a lot for, a Monday afternoon. Well, we are going to do this by tapping into the ancient wisdoms of a couple things. So I love to play, when I teach yoga, I love to play with something called the chakra system, which is just like a color by number understanding of your spiritual and energetic and physical chemistry and biology and energetic systems. So if you've ever seen a photo of, well, not necessarily a photo, but like a painting or a graphic of someone sitting on a lotus flower, and they have these lovely rainbow colors going up and down their spine or somewhere around, and the picture always kind of looks like there's serenity right there, captivating them. That is how I like to, so each of the colors represents certain strengths and gifts and challenges and victories that we have to deal with in our lives, in our hearts, in our minds, in our souls. So I have taken my passion for this chakra system, and then I dug out these beautiful, let's see, where are they? This beautiful card deck called the Goddess Oracle. Now, this is for fun. These are just avatars of ideas of fierce feminine energy. That this particular box is a deck and book set by Amy Sophia Marashinsky, illustrated by Hirana Janto. I love this thing because they offer, I don't know how many we're going to meet 10 goddesses, and each of the goddesses I feel like came through pretty powerfully to say, pick me, I am ready to talk to the folks at the Guildford Public Library about what my passions and strengths are. And I did it based on the chakras because I am unapologetic with my level of geekiness. I will tell you that much. So we are going to start with a lovely lady known as Artemis. Hopefully you can see this. Maria Suarez, thank you so much for teaching me how to do the Facebook Live so people don't see things backwards. I think I figured it out. I'm pretty proud. Already winning today. So, Miss Artemis, have you heard of her? Do you recall her? She is from the realm of Greek mythology. You know what I would like to say? I would like to say that all the lovely ladies we're going to tap into, I would feel like I should have like a disclaimer. These are all my interpretations to be summarized in this particular community. There are unbelievable amounts of interpretations and different ways of seeing and approaching any of the information. Luckily, if you're here, then you are acquainted with the library. You were probably acquainted with Google too. So if any of these lovely ladies inspires you or ignites something in you, or even like kind of rubs you the wrong way, go find out more. See what's going on, because we are dealing with you. Like, my goal is to make sure that you understand that these traits are in you, and the intuition that they tappity tap on is no accident. If you're bothering to listen, if you're bothering to be here, there's something in you that's either ready to be heard, ready to be awoken, ready to be felt, celebrated, exercised. This could be the beginning of a magnificent journey, or maybe it will uncover something that you've had buried for a while. So just, all I ask you, play with me. Let's play. If anything, don't take it too seriously. And unless you're like, I'm totally taking it seriously, then go all the way. Hey, Marie, thanks for being here. Hi, Diane. I love your heart, which is, by the way, a red heart, part of the root chakra. So we're back to Artemis. Here we are with Artemis. Greek, she was Diana in Roman mythology. She's the huntress. She is a avatar for childbirth, wilderness, wild animals. She's physically strong. She's actually, ironically, chastity is one of her things that she represents, because she is so fiercely independent that she kind of never even wanted to deal with the mankind situation, which she loves her freedom. She's the daughter of Zeus, and she is the protector of young children. So I feel like we see this archetype, this avatar, a lot in the new Wonder Woman movies. You know, they are fierce warriors with a active appreciation for and expression of the liberated woman, you know, dependent on no one and nothing. And she also is a great avatar for wholeness. So as I think of Artemis, I think of the root chakra, because she is grounded. She is acquainted with her strength, her vitality. She has a message for us. And this is where our journey begins, ladies and gents, if you're a guy wanting to wake up your fierce feminine energy. It's possible and is there, and I totally recommend it. It'll change you. Focus on yourself. So I feel like we women can hear this message, maybe for weeks, maybe for decades, and we can blow it off, and we can shrug, and we can fight it, and we can say it's not available in our time, in our generation, in our list of responsibilities. And yet Artemis will disagree with you with such passion. She wants to know, what are your needs? I was wondering, do you have a pen? I should have invited you to grab a pen and paper or a journal. you're at home maybe, or at work, or maybe you're at the car wash, I don't know. But if you have a chance to take some notes, you may want to take some notes. You never know what you're going to hear that's going to rock your world. So what are your needs, ladies? What's something that you've been quiet about that you haven't had a chance to really pay attention to? Artemis is here to say it matters. Honor yourself. You matter. Get in touch with your needs and find a way to put yourself as a priority. Find a way to use your physical strength, to use your connection to the earth, to ignite some sensation of liberation within you. I have paired this lovely lady, Artemis, with a Hindu archetype named Durga. Hopefully you can say Durga. So whereas Artemis represents selfhood, paying attention to your needs, focusing on yourself, Durga is coming in to talk to you about boundaries. Don't they work well together? I personally wrestle with for years with people who say you got to set more boundaries up. But this young, fierce lady riding a tiger, sometimes a lion, sometimes depicted with multiple arms, often depicted with multiple arms. She is here to ride in and say, hey, you need some boundaries. If you don't know what you need, if you don't know what you want, you need to show up for yourself. And establishing clear boundaries is an act of self-love. I hadn't really thought of it like that. It just seemed like one more thing to do. But boundaries let others know what you are and where you stand. So if you're not finding time for yourself, or a chance to tap into stillness or connect to nature or remind yourself of your power, it is time for you to summon a little bit of strength to show up for yourself and to say, you know what? I've given a lot. I give a lot to you and you and you, to that and that and that. It is time that I create some space and stillness and reflection time for me and my needs. So Durga, I like this idea that we can think of these ladies when we need their strength and wisdom. So now that you know Durga, maybe she will arrive to you in a dream. Maybe you will write down her name on a Post-it note and see her like 4 Thursdays from now, and remember that you still haven't had a chance to focus on what you need to be happy and feel more luscious and more fulfilled. Have a conversation with Durga. Use your imagination. Take yourself less seriously. Have some fun with it. Imagine this son of a gun coming in on a tiger and just reminding you that it is time to put some boundaries up so people know what you need. So she also stands for courage, grace, and valor. She is a fierce protector. Of course, with boundaries, fierce boundaries means fierce protection of who you are and who you want to be. She offers protection to the vulnerable. She reminds us of our codependence with nature. She also offers comfort, compassion, and wisdom. These are the qualities of the fierce feminine. We are not soft. We are patient and wise. We watch and listen, and we make that our strength once we start honoring it. Guilford Public Library said, "You're welcome." Durga sits on a tiger or lion and battles the forces of evil in this world. So I read something, she's been depicted as having either 8 or 18 arms, which I think is a little bit hilarious because, of course, women deities have to be given multiple arms because we're always juggling a lot of things. So let Durga help you with your boundaries. Let Artemis help you with honoring yourself and paying attention to your own needs. And if you like to play in the chakras with me, let that ground into the foundation of your understanding of your root chakra, your root, your tribe, your essence, where you came from, your sense of safety and security. These ladies will help you and guide you and remind you that you're stronger than you think. All right, so that's our root chakra. Fierce female warriors. I'm not going to surprise you with that. I have a little surprise later. So we're going to move up from the manifestation current of red to the place of orange, your sacral chakra. Honoring the fierce feminine. So whereas the energies of the root chakra are masculine, even though we are bringing in fierce feminine energy of our masculine root systems, we're coming up to the place right behind our belly button, along our lower back, and that is our orange, juicy, feminine energy. That's a feminine chakra. Each of the chakras has its own. They lean on masculine or feminine energies, being or doing. Feminine is being, and masculine is doing. So we're in the sacral chakra now, and I'd like to introduce you to two of my friends. I would like to first introduce you to, and I'm afraid I'm going to mispronounce because they had some, but I'm going to call her, it could be Demeter or Demeter. So don't cast stones at the messenger. I'm sorry. I tried to do the sounding out things, and I was coming up with, I always call her Demeter, but now I'm second guessing myself. So Lady D, we'll call her Lady D. And she is coming in because I think as we are doing our best to activate our own fierce feminine, we have to remember to honor our feelings and emotions. Can you guys see that? Oops. Isn't she lovely? Feelings and emotions. When I say that, do you get nervous? Is it something that makes you feel alive, or are you suddenly busy and you want to go do the dishes? Either way is okay. Full acceptance here. This is a judgment-free zone. So we have a Lady D here. She represents the doorway of the mysterious feminine. She loves agriculture. She's the goddess of the harvest, cycle of life and death, seasons and fertility. We have a couple of other goddesses who are also lay claim to these areas. So she really wants you to accept, acknowledge, and express your feelings. So, do you journal? Do you, when something bubbles up inside of you, do you squash it down? Do you look the other way? Do you busy yourself? Or do you reflect, allow yourself to feel whatever needs to move inside of you? I love this distinction that feelings are the things you actually feel, and emotions are the reactions to your feelings. So how do you handle your emotions? Do they make you wildly uncomfortable? Or are you too far, do you go the other way where you are completely effusive in all situations and areas? You want to find some kind of balance there and trust your own strength and your ability to tap into your own wisdom, use gifts from some other archetypes, some other ideas of feminine energy, some other fierceness within you to get to the place in your life where you can accept yourself as a whole being with rich and beautiful feelings. So we may be familiar with this idea that masculine energy generally in the stereotype, not big fans of feelings, right? Not big fans of being overly demonstrative. It's not about being demonstrative. It is about acknowledging that we are rich bundles of nerves and mystery, creativity and creation. And there are subtle energies, not just within us, but around us that we pick up on. So what are we doing in our days to honor these subtle and not so subtle energy systems and cycles? This gal is the mother of Persephone, and no wonder Persephone, if you recall in Greek mythology, was taken by Hades to live underground. And the reason Lady D is so fierce in her feminine strength on feelings and emotions is because she wanted her daughter back. So she negotiated with Hades to get Persephone back 6 months out of the year, honoring a cycle, allowing that, like, she felt the pain and the grief so deeply of losing her daughter that she got to the other side of it. And I think, I would imagine that most of us have had times in our life where navigating that level of grief, inner pain, you know, on any place of the scale of being human, it can feel very lonely, very isolating. It can be something we don't want to deal with, and we may want to find some routes of escape. So Lady D wants to tell you, you know what? That's okay, but when you're ready, show up and feel what needs to be felt, because that is what changes you. That is what inspires deeper levels of compassion, of awareness, deeper levels of appreciation for your whole being. And it helps you show up for other people too. And I think as ladies, most of us like that. Most of us like going through some dark spots if we can emerge and be of some kind of value and hope to other people in our lives. So don't shy away from your feelings and emotions. This is what she wants to tell you, and she would like to introduce you to someone a little less maybe intimidating. This is Lady Lakshmi. Isn't she lovely? She is a Hindu goddess representing feeling juicy and alive, pleasure, sensuality, generosity, and maybe the word most associated, prosperity and abundance. So you can see Lady Lakshmi, she's lovely. She stands on a lotus flower, of course, don't we all? And she wants to invite you to consider shifting your mindset when you are feeling constricted or alone, or like you're lacking the resources to celebrate your own selfhood and to honor your own nuances. She wants to remind you that this entire universe was made with abundance in mind. You know, that nature doesn't just make one flower, it replicates and duplicates and invites you to really appreciate the entirety of the beauty and the bounty. And this is what she stands for. She's she's open to flow. She wants you to be open to flow. So you ever come into those places in your life where you feel like you're swimming upstream and everything you do is like hitting your head against the wall? Well, she wants to, if she comes into your life, which she's doing it today, you're going to meet a lot of them. So you just be careful about taking them all in at once, okay? Lakshmi just wants you to know that you can connect with the river and allow yourself the grace and ease to move emotionally, physically, mentally, with the grace, with the ease, with the flow. She wants you to be, often in our beautiful Western culture, I can't get this, I'm working backwards, so I'll figure it out, Maria. you know, we hear the word abundance and maybe we're inspired to think it means just about, you know, money or things. And that's fine if that's where you're hooking into the idea of abundance. She wants to let you know that abundance also comes in the form of paying attention to the friendships and relationships in our lives, in our health, you know, shifting the focus of where we're lacking to where we are groovy and luscious, in our family connections, in our experience and expression of love. You know, can we give more? When we fill our own wells, yes, we can give more. And you know what fierce feminines, fierce chicks understand is not only can we give more, we can get better at receiving. You know, the dance of receiving and giving. Many of us are so good at giving because that's the good girl in us who wants to do things right and do things well for people. But when people offer help, no, we're fine. We don't need it. So she wants to say, you know what? Be better at receiving. You deserve it. And as you receive, you will find the energy and the creativity to offer more to yourself and others. She wants you to tune into your talent and the talent that lives around you, the opportunities, the humor, the grace, the joy. And she may be a big advocate of gratitude. If you've never practiced with a gratitude journal, just writing down a few things every day, every morning, every evening before you go to bed that you're grateful for. Gratitude begets gratitude. It helps with the sensation of abundance and prosperity in your own heart, in your own body, in your own being. Thank you, Lakshmi. You're beautiful and we love you, and we will accept your gifts. So we're entering the power place. I just want to give you fair warning. These are tremendous feminine icons known around the world in some cultures, not in all, but we're going to get, you know how sometimes maybe we've become aware that women are complicated? Maybe not. Maybe that's not your experience. My experience is that as we are lucky enough to break down our own barriers and make connections, deeper, richer, more meaningful, and truth-bound connections with humans, we are mysteries of complication and just awesomeness. Well, so this is where we're heading. So I'm going to take a sip of water because these ladies, and they delight me, but they intimidate me. And I don't want to scare you, but they're coming here to help out. So first, we will meet the lovely Lilith. I hope you can see that. How's that? Lilith, isn't she lovely? She doesn't look intimidating, does she? She's a Sumerian queen of heaven. And her message to you today, as someone who is playing with the energies of the fierce feminine and activating your own superpowers, she wants you to take back your power. How did you receive that message? With excitement or with a shrug or with a no thank you? Well, she's gonna keep talking. So she wants you to not only take back your power, if you don't know what that means, you know, because we do go through our beautiful cycles of life and we forget how powerful we are sometimes. She wants you to accept that you are more powerful than you realize. She wants you to look into your beliefs about power if your first instinct is to reject or to turn away or to suggest to yourself that you don't have any. She wants you to honor the principles of freedom and courage, playfulness and passion, pleasure and sexuality, sensuality. She wants to be your avatar today of equality here on International Women's Day. She wants you to remember that you are no better or worse than anyone else, that you matter, that you can show up, you can have demands, or you can stand in your power and need nothing and ask for nothing. In my reading of this for today's conversation, I read that she was the first true liberationist. I thought that sounded fun. She wants you to stand up for what you believe in and trust that you can find your voice and that your contribution, your opinion to things that matter are important. She was turned away from paradise, like in different variations of her story. Some say that she was unwilling to just be the woman for Adam, and so she was turned away from her crime, and some say she was demonized, but she needed to do that because she felt in her bones the importance of equality so deeply that she was willing to lead from that place. So one beautiful article I read said, if you want to connect with Lilith, eat an apple, but do it like in a really rebellious way. She's called the Dark Moon Goddess, and she wants you to engage, to pay attention to, celebrate, and engage with your power. So if you're feeling like you're lacking any power, eat an apple while feeling like a rebel. Or look her up and see what she has to say for you. And I've paired Lilith today. This is the one. This is the one. She frightens me and fascinates me. Have you ever met or been exposed to Kali Ma? See this lady? I don't know if you can see the details of her stunning uniqueness. So, talk about the fierce feminine. So, Kali Ma and Durga are kind of related to each other. They're in Hindu, and there's another one we'll mention later. So they are different iterations of ideas designed to celebrate distinct parts of the fierce feminine. So Kali is the goddess of time, doomsday, and death. Okay, we'll start there. She is the embodiment of Shakti, which is female power, and Shakti is a goddess we're going to be seeing a little bit later. So she is part of that thread. Durga, Kali, and Shakti have interesting threaded relations, representations. So if you can't really appreciate Kali, like a Google image search might be recommended, but not before bedtime, because you might see her naked with her tongue out. She's a feral goddess. She is the embodiment of sheer power, with no limits. She has some unusual habits about blood is often part of her representation. Blood. She's known as the destroyer, and doesn't that sound, at first blush, maybe not so great, maybe not a friend that we would like to hang out with. And yet, the funny thing about this one is that she also she does what she does out of instinct and protectiveness. She destroys things. It's not doomsday death as much as the death of your ego, the death of things that no longer matter, the death of false ideas about who you are. She also represents motherly love. You know, that fierce, like mama bear energy? This is Kali gets in there and she will protect you, and she will rise and destroy things that no longer serve you. So on this card it says fear, but she doesn't represent fear. What she does when you call upon her, she's going to help you blast through your fears. But you got to be serious. She does not mess around. You learn about Kali, and you just know that if you're going to work with her ideas, just understand that she's there to party in some ways. Like, she will be one of the most fun people to watch at the party of your evolution, but she's both frightening and awe-inspiring. So if and when you are ready to confront your deepest fears, which as a warrior of fierce feminine appreciation and energy, you're going to want to do that. You're going to want to go into the dark places and move around some furniture and see what's really happening inside you, inside your head, your heart, you know, your power center. See what's going on. Think of her and realize that she is a triple goddess of creation, preservation, and destruction. I love this description of her. She is the insatiable hunger of time that births, then devours. She's uncontrollable, and she'll dance. So she dances on like enemies. It's just, she's got some really fun, unique habits. But more than anything, Kali Ma wants you to face your fears. She wants to help you burn through them. She wants you to sit down with your fears, look your fears straight in the eye, don't turn away, figure it out, and then she will like zap, zappity zap, zap them with one of her many, many arms and interesting things she carries. So Kali Ma, pretty good avatar for fierce feminine energy. Use with awareness. Invoke with awareness. Play with awareness. Whew. Do you need a rest? How are you guys doing? I'm glad you're still here. This is exciting. I wrote so much I had to recreate my notebook situation. So after Kali, maybe we'll take a big, let's breathe, shall we? Let's breathe. Let's just sit or stand, take a moment, take a deep breath in through the nose, fill up that belly, relax through the shoulders. We're going to take 2 more breaths, because I just feel like between Kali and Lilith, maybe they got a little bit too excited. So inhale deeply, and this is going to be a beautiful introduction to our next fierce feminine avatar. One more time, bring it in all the way into the nose, into the belly. Cleanse and purify, relax and feel. And may I introduce you to a really lovely woman. Do you see how much? So I just saw her and I softened like 57,000 degrees. This lovely lady's name is Kuan Yin. Kuan Yin is spelt in so many different ways. Sometimes with a G, sometimes with a Q. She is a Chinese Buddhist goddess, avatar, archetype. And she is known for compassion, mercy, and kindness. So after we have Lady D and in the root system, and Durga helping us with boundaries and helping us with paying attention to our own needs. And then we have the feelings and emotions of our orange chakra and the idea of abundance with Lakshmi. And then we have the power center of Lilith and Kali Ma coming at us, reminding us to fight and destroy what doesn't serve us, and to celebrate our fierce feminine power, we get a beautiful respite with Kuan Yin. So check this one out if you've never met her. She who hears the weeping world. She who is aware of the tears of the world. So her mythology, her story is quite beautiful. She reached enlightenment and made the decision to come back down to earth so she could help others with their suffering. When I talk about her and when I think about her, the sensation in my heart flares up. I get that little itch of tears in my eyes. That's just, I don't know how you navigate these principles, but I will tell you this happened. Every time I flipped to her when I was preparing for this, she got me every time. She got me every time. So I wondered, I was like, I wonder if I'm going to cry on the live stream, which seemed hilarious to me, but I just had the sensation. I just felt it. Whew. Okay, so I guess we're all friends here. If that needs to happen, that needs to happen. So she who hears the weeping world, she helps with suffering. So she lives on an island and is said to grant every prayer she hears. What a beautiful mystique, huh? And what a beautiful superpower. She signals it is time to nurture wholeness and compassion, with compassion, through compassion. Here's what her message is to you today and always. She wants you to cultivate space in your life. Allow, not just cultivate, that's even too active. She wants you to allow space. So we're tapping into those feminine energies of flow and allowing again. She wants you to allow space, not just for yourself, also for others. So what does that mean? She wants you to give yourself time to heal. She wants you to understand that everyone around us is going through, their own journeys, their own details, their own histories, their own spectacular evolution at all times. So give them the benefit of the doubt. She wants you to feel what needs to be felt. So I would imagine that she and, who's our other lady? Lady D would be fun would have fascinating conversations. They'd be like, I know, right? If everyone would just feel, it would be okay. I'm sure that's exactly how they would sound too. She wants to alleviate suffering by cultivating compassion for yourself. So how have you been doing? How have you been treating yourself recently, or your whole life, or like 2 hours ago? What are the voices in your head, the stories you tell yourself? How much grace and compassion do you give yourself on a daily basis? Do you offer that same level of grace and compassion to yourself that you offer to others? Are you incredibly generous in your thinking or in attending to others' feelings and emotions, and yet you have no patience with yourself? That's a quality some of us have experienced and or witnessed in others. So Kuan Yin wants to give you a giant hug and to hold you for as long as you need to be held and to let you know everything's okay. And she wants to hold you in her beautiful, loving, compassionate embrace until you feel that unconditional love in yourself, until you can be that unconditional love for yourself and for others. She wants you to listen deeply into your heart. She wants you to embrace your vulnerability. Recognize it as your greatest strength. Like I said, she attained enlightenment, for crying out loud. And where she could have taken a bliss bath for all of eternity, she chose to remain on earth to help others relieve their suffering. that's a special lady. So, the irony of that is by coming back to Earth, that's where she found her immortality in the hearts of the suffering. So you will maybe, if you've never heard of Kuan Yin before, maybe you will start noticing that there are like statues even around our own Lakes region neighborhoods, definitely in the Far East, where she is maybe more well known, more aligned with maybe the divine, with Mother Mary energy, that idea of just compassionate surrender, love, unconditional love. She's often depicted with a vase that has healing water, water of life, the nectar of life. Sometimes she has a branch where she'll put the water, she'll put the branch in the water, and you imagine she kind of sprinkles it on people. Some people say the vase, that this nectar of life, the water of life, are the tears of the world. So she hears the weeping world, and she holds the space for you to heal and to feel. Kuan Yin. Don't you kind of feel better knowing her? She's lovely, right? Whew, I like her. Oh, I had Azume. Oh no, I forgot my pronunciation. I should have written this down. I was like, oh, I'll remember it. I love this lady. Okay, I love this one. So in my little framework of the world, we're moving up to the throat chakra. So in the world of the throat chakra, it's usually the color of an electric blue, and it stands for vibration, energetic vibration, and communication and self-expression. So this is why I brought, I'm going to mispronounce it, Azume. So I'll show you, and then you can pronounce it as you want. I wish you knew how many times I had said this, so this exact thing wouldn't happen. But here we are, which is okay, because she is a lovely lady who wants to say something that I'm a big fan of saying: choose levity. So this lady, she looks quite abundant. She is, there's a reason she's showing off her breasts. So she, the card here just says the word laughter. So she wants to remind you not to take yourself so seriously, and she's got a good reason for that. So her backstory in her mythology is she coaxed the sun goddess, another great name I'm probably going to butcher, Amaterasu Omi Kami, out of a cave. And how did she, because she had been kind of hiding there. And she did that with a body dance. See, not a B-A-W-D-Y, and also body, B-O-D-Y. So a body dance. She was making fun of a shamanic ritual. She flashed her breasts and made other inappropriate moves that you can look up if you are like me and like the naughty side of things. And she created such an uproar, howls of laughter from these other deities that were hanging around, that had assembled because they didn't know what all the uproar was about, that finally the sun goddess, Amaterasu Omi Kami, she got curious and left her cave because she didn't know what was going on with the loudness and the laughter and the essence of Azume. So she wants to remind, this is what she wants you to know today. I don't know when the last time it was you laughed. I noticed that this particular year, this March to March, has been an unusual time where we've had like maybe less time with others in social situations, with connection, and maybe the amount of laughter, at least for me, the amount of laughter has been less, because I feel like laughter is something you do best with others, that it is contagious, and it is a joining of energies and silliness. So this is a good time for us to remember that laughter helps us relax. So if it's been a long time, or feels like it's been a really long time since, your gut hurt from laughing, or even since you giggled a little bit too long, or a long time since you've snorted because of something silly. What can you do to bring more laughter into your life? Part of the fierce feminine is to be the embodiment of joy. Part of joy is to allow the physical expression of joy to make noises with your and through your body. That, my friends, is laughter. Let it help relax you, invigorate you. Let it help you break the spell of rigidity. Laughter, when we finally take ourselves less seriously, it's a chemical shakeout. It helps give us all perspective when we unplug from the ideas of what has to be, from our idea of, more masculine concepts of controlling or expectation or goals or things that we wanted but can't seem to get. Move that all out of the way. Find a way to connect with delight, the physical expression of delight, especially if it can be with others. Now, you can laugh pretty hard I did this year, things I learned. You can laugh pretty hard with your friends on Zoom calls. I mean, like really hard. When you realize how much you've missed laughter and that type of connection, that type of levity, that type of letting all the serious stuff melt out of your system so you can breathe and be just exactly who you are, how you are. You are tapping into your fierce femininity. There we go. Now we're moving up. I've put this goddess in third eye energy. This is our friend. When we met Durga, we met Kali. So this is an iteration of this beautiful trilogy of women. This is Shakti. So Shakti is a complex idea. Shakti is a Hindu goddess and also kind of an omnipresent ideal of a feminine power and energy. It is the sizzle. It is the electric current. It is Shakti energy. Shakti as a goddess and as an idea is the animating force of the universe. She arrives to energize and vitalize you. She helps you connect to abundant cosmic energy. She wants you to play with the intention and imagination. This is why I put her for our conversation today in the place of the third eye. So she as I dove into her, she felt like she is the energy, the sizzle behind all of our energetic systems. And I understood her in my own reading as the amplifier of the greatest gifts in each of our awarenesses, in each of our chakra systems, in each of our energetic cycles. She's kind of like the turbo boost of all good things. And intention and imagination is the way to access this energy. It is not through force or will, but through conscious connection, through meditation and intention. So when we practice intention in our lives, attention follows intention. So we bring Shakti into our lives, or maybe we ask her for help when we want to crackle and vibrate with delicious, pleasurable energy. So you may want to use visualizations and breath work to get the system pumping, to get your physical meat suit energized and ready to receive a shot of energy. Shakti can be an agent of change, and she helps to restore balance. So the Durga energy is about protecting and boundaries. That's part of Shakti, fierce feminine energy. To be a fierce feminine powerhouse, you got to have your boundaries. You got to summon some Kali energy and realize you're stronger than you think to face your fears. But Kali, again, Kali is an uncontrollable, unpredictable force. She doesn't give a bleep. She just doesn't care. And, oh, you know what the other, this beautiful explanation of Kali is that, like, whereas a lot of feminine avatars in our beautiful world are to behold or to be on display. You know, women, like, you know, in art, we are these lovely beings who like to be painted and kind of honored for beauty and all these other softer things. Kali does not care. She is, you know, she's like the ugly beautiful of, her definition of beauty is in her full rawness, not with the predetermined ideals of feminine energy. So we've got Durga and Kali, boundaries and power. Shakti brings it all together, invites change if you want it, helps restore balance, because she brings that zappity zap zap to all the systems in us. So in Hinduism, every god has a Shakti or energy force. So you want to call upon her if you are lacking energy or strength. Call on Shakti energy. If you, she's also known for fertility, power, energy, and creativity. Call on Shakti energy. If you ever need a turbo boost for any of your other superpowers, call on Shakti. That's a pretty good one, yes? Yes, I will trust that someone's thumbs upping me out there in the world. So, we've got a few more things about Shakti. So when you want to fight your own personal demons, when you're seeking protection, you call upon Durga. If you want to destroy evil and restore balance, look to Kali. Shakti is universal energy force. She is active, loving force for change. She offers intelligence, instinct, willpower, action. She helps with your communication skills, so she will help you speak your truth. And ultimately, she is your secret weapon magic. She's just the magic of who you are when you are aligned and inspired. That's pretty fierce, don't you guys think? Marie, yeah, need her. Yeah, you got her. You got her. She's now yours. Now you know her. Do with this information what you will. So I have one more friend to introduce you to today to revitalize your fierce feminine and help you reimagine your limits and your limitless nature. This one, she's a funny one. We've got another funny one. Have you heard of Baba Yaga? Certainly a fun one to say. Certainly unconventional ideals of beauty. So Baba Yaga, she's the wild woman. Do you see that? That's what it says on the bottom of this card. She represents the wild woman. So because we were talking about fierce feminine on International Women's Day, you know, there are a lot of different avatars, mythologies, goddesses, whatever your language is, you know, characters representing different things. Baba Yaga, in the world of a woman's life, where we have the maiden, the mother, and the crone. I don't know if you've ever heard that as the three phases of a woman's life. Baba Yaga is the crone. Another really lovely word that people use is the hag. So you may see, or some people understand her as like witches in fairy tales have a lot of Baba Yaga energy, or she is like the witch in Hansel and Gretel. Like, so some bad habits that she has been known for is like eating small children. We don't have to pay attention to that part. It's maybe part of, you know, some of the stories. For our purposes, we're focusing on the good things that these feminine archetypes can bring to us. So the first thing I want to bring in is that she, Baba Yaga is a Slavic wild goddess representing birth and death, the deepest mysteries of death. Again, not necessarily, can be, but not necessarily the death of the physical body, but the death of limits, the death of ideas, the death of fears. She's Lithuanian, Russian regeneration. So we're in that section of the country. Baba Yaga is huge. I love what I saw, that she also represents the death of ignorance. So she lives deep in the forest in her little crone hag world, and she invites us to see our true darkest selves. So why would this be something we'd ever want to do? I am so happy you asked this question. She offers us deep wisdom. She offers us not worrying about what other people think, so we can access the untamed side of ourselves. She conquers fear by not giving a bleep. She is fierce and wild, deep and penetrating. So she has this vehicle, like she's wacky. So I have beloved relatives that I feel like have Baba Yaga energy, where, you know, with age comes less connection with what other people think and more permission within ourselves to behave boldly if we cultivate that part of our lives. Not to shrink, but to expand. Not to care about our roles or our perceived roles, but to really experience the richness of life without any hindrances. So she's often depicted as riding around in a mortar, which is, you know, that hard bowl with a pestle to grind grain. So if you want to play with Baba Yaga energy, you can maybe eat some grains, whole grains, or good nuts, etc. Her house was said to stand on chicken legs, and it danced about. I mean, so you're like, what? What are you talking about, Lonnie? And I'm like, I know, this is Baba Yaga. That's why I wanted you to meet her today. She's kind of a nutcase, but like in a really fun, healthy way. She is connected to nature. She, I would imagine, dances around fire, and she's got this house with the chicken legs that also dances with her. And to me, she is the gal that says, rules? What rules? I've lived, I've loved, I've lost, I've done what I need to do. Now this is my time to explore and to feel and to just do what needs to be done. And often in the forest where no one's looking anyway. So why not cackle loudly? Why not open your throat out and let out a roar? Why not shake up your life, let your hair down, and experience joy, vitality, and creativity on different levels? I mean, she's the primal scream, and also the gorgeous cackle that you hear from across the room. She wants you to reconnect with your natural, primal, instinctive self. Her themes that she represents: harvest, rest, thankfulness, the cycles of life. So another, part of the feminine understanding is that we really are like biologically and intuitively tapped into these cycles and seasons of the planet and of ourselves. Yeah, she's a fun one. So Baba Yaga. And that, my friends, those are our fierce feminine avatars that I hope you've enjoyed meeting, and I hope will begin or continue a brand new journey of your own curiosity and respect and wonder and reflection and creativity and action in your own lives. I mean, how can you go wrong? You've got Artemis and Durga, boundaries and selfhood. Demeter wants you to feel your emotions. Lakshmi wants to remind you of abundance everywhere, the gifts around you, the prosperity that already exists, nothing that you have to generate. We've got the power of Lilith. We've got the willingness and strength to face our fears that Kali brings in. We've got the compassion of Kuan Yin. The laughter of Azume. Beautiful laughter, not choosing levity, not taking ourselves so seriously. We've got the wholeness, the activation, the expression of life force energy coursing through us, the sizzle, that beautiful sensation of vitality, of feeling alive. And we've got the unpredictable cackle of the wild woman, Baba Yaga. Nicole, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thanks, Kelly. It also delights me to know that I love that such strong women showed up today, because you guys are the dreamers, the doers, the feelers, the activators of the people in your life. So carry on. Does anyone have questions? Boy, I feel like this is such a one-sided conversation. I just yap. Can't let me out anywhere, can you? Well, if you have questions, I am always available on Facebook. Heidi, fabulous chicks had messages. Yes, that's what I hope. I hope you felt the messages, because I will tell you, I had some late nights with these ladies, and I forgot how much I love them, and it's been a while. So what a great time in our seasonal cycle, you know, this first half of March, to be reminded that spring is right around the corner, that we have these secret weapons inside of us, these activators of delight and sensation. Hi, Maria. Thanks for watching. Lightning energy. I'm glad the plumber didn't get in your way of showing up. Yes, so reflect, connect. I'm always here, and I thank you so much for hanging out with me. And go do some fun work in this world with the awareness of your fierce feminine superpowers. Thank you so much, and thanks for giving me an excuse to wear my fancy robe. Love to all. Bye-bye.